All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2004 Mazdaspeed MX-5. Up front is a 1.8 liter turbocharged inline 4. Down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Guys, I am so excited to be back driving a Miata. If you guys didn't know, over this past summer of 2020, I actually owned an NA Miata for exactly 90 days, and I regret selling it every single day of my life. But now, I'm back, baby. I'm back in a little Miata, and this is quite the Miata to be back in. So, the Mazdaspeed Miata was only made in 2004 and 2005. In 2004, they made about 4,000 of them, but unfortunately in 2005, because of a factory fire, they didn't make a whole lot more. So, manufacturing numbers, I'll put up on the screen if I can find an exact one, but definitely under 6,000. And the Mazdaspeed obviously gets that turbo engine that we'll talk about in a second. But it gets the rear spoiler, front air dam, and things like that. It's a little bit more attractive of a Miata and a little bit more sporty as well. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. But let's get back to that 1.8 liter turbocharged inline 4. Well, it makes about 170-ish horsepower from the factory, which isn't a whole lot. If you look at it on paper, actually, the ND Miata, the 2020, actually makes more horsepower than that. However, you get great turbo noises out of this car. It sounds great, it revs great. The red line is actually 500 RPM lower than the naturally aspirated Mazda Miata. The NB Miata normally redlines at 7,000, but this is actually 6,500. Because of that turbo, it's actually a lower compression engine and things like that. Now, some people kind of thumb their nose because this car isn't a power monster, but I don't care. Like I said, paired to its 6-speed manual transmission, one of the perks of the Mazdaspeed Miata, it actually gets a stronger transmission than the other NBs, and I like it a lot. It feels good. It has a factory short throw shifter in it. Revving through the gears is great. However, speaking of the transmission, the clutch is actually heavier than I anticipated. It does get a beefier clutch than the regular NB as well. That's yet another perk of the Mazdaspeed, but it's a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's not heavy. It's just heavier than I expected. Last but not least, of course, the Mazdaspeed Miata is rear-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We don't have a whole lot to get through, but the faster we do it means the quicker we can talk about how much I love this car. Well, in front of me, I have 5 gauges. On the far left is my fuel. Then I have my tachometer. In the middle, I have oil pressure. On the right, I have my speedometer. And on the far right, I have my coolant temperature. I love the gauges. The tachometer says Mazdaspeed on them, which is absolutely great. I love looking at my gauges and just being reminded that I'm driving something special and not just a factory base model NB. The steering wheel looks like it's out of an FD RX-7, and that's not the only parallel I'll be drawing to the FD, but it looks good and it looks very modern. To the left of me, I have my fog light button. That is something that the Mazdaspeed gets, is fog lights, and my gauge dimmer switch. And then on the door, I have my handle and my lock button. This is actually not where the power windows are found. We'll talk about that in a second, but the door card is nice and slim, and something in the door card that you'll find is the Bose audio system. So the Mazdaspeed got Bose speakers. Mazda's been partnering with Bose for years and years and years. The FD-RX-7 again was offered with a Bose audio system, and even the 2021 Mazda 3 hatchback is offered with a Bose audio system, and I really, really like that. In the center, normally I would have 2 vents here, but the left vent has been replaced with a boost gauge, and the right vent has been replaced with a phone holder. But normally those would just be 2 air conditioning vents. Down below that, we have our Bose radio as well. This looks very late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, there's no getting around it. But I do have a CD player, which is nice for an NB Miata. It says the multi-function audio system. And of course, I have my typical climate controls. I do have a rear defroster, which is very, very nice. This rear window is glass, so it actually does have a defroster in it, something that the NA Miata guys oogle over and try to take. Then I do actually have an on-off switch for the passenger airbag, which is nice that this car gets a passenger airbag, something that a lot of the NA Miatas were missing. Then to the right of that, cigarette lighter, and then we're down to the shifter. Like I said, the shifter feels good. Very click, 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 right into gear. I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And overall, in terms of shifters, this feels like and does everything I need or would want it to do. It's a great feeling shifter. I think it looks good as well. It's sort of worn down. You know, this is more of a driver's car. You can look at it that way, or the fact that maybe Mazda didn't use the most expensive materials in 2004. Down below the shifter, this is actually where you'll find your power windows, which the driver's side is one-touch auto down. Is it one-touch auto up? No, of course not. And that man on the bike was laughing because he knew it wasn't. Then I do get a flip-out cup holder, which is interesting. Again, something Miatas are not known for, but this actually has not one, but two. I just discovered that. It has two cup holders. Wow, look at that. What an improvement, Mazda. Then I have a little center console. Nothing too crazy. The seats are decently comfortable. They are high bolsters. The bottom of them is a little bit harder than other Miatas, you know, more casual Miatas. But this isn't a casual Miata. This was something you bought because you were a driver and you enjoyed driving your car. And so the higher bolsters are nice to keep you in because, in my own humble opinion, I think the Miata is one of the best handling cars in the world, and I don't think people really fight me on that. Now, we don't have back seats. We will talk about the convertible top. It is operated the same way that all first and second gen convertible tops are operated. There's two latches on either side, and then you pull it down. Now, I will not be opening the convertible top today because it is 31 degrees outside, and I forgot my Tracer Media beanie at home. But don't be like me. Go pick up a Tracer Media beanie at the link in the description below. They are absolutely awesome. I've been wearing mine so much. I wear it around the house. I wear it out. I wear it everywhere. They're super comfy, and they're made by the channel's good friend Alex Nagy of Tracer Media. Go pick it up. They're super, super comfy. But now we have to talk about the looks of the Mazdaspeed Miata. I like it. It definitely looks different. These are the factory wheels, and they're a little bit big, but that helps me sort of identify the fact that this is a Mazdaspeed and not just another NB Miata with some body kit thrown on it. So I like the wheels for that respect. Now driving the Mazdaspeed Miata. I'm gonna say something here, and I don't want you guys to blow it out of proportion. And I want you to hear me out through the entire statement. This Mazdaspeed Miata, this 2004 Mazdaspeed Miata, is the closest thing I have felt to an FD RX-7 besides an FD RX-7. First of all, it smells like an old Japanese car in here. It has that sort of aged plastic smell. R32s smell this way, FD RX-7s smell this way. A lot of K cars from Japan smell this way. It's just the materials that they used and how they've aged. They just create this sort of aroma that makes me feel very at home. But it's probably also giving me some type of brain cancer or something, but it smells and feels like a JDM car. The second reason I think it feels like an FD is because of the steering wheel and gauges. They're sort of reminiscent. They're not the same, but they're reminiscent of each other. It's very obvious that they're siblings, and as I'm showing here, the steering wheel, very, very obvious. And last but not least is the driving feel. Nothing will ever feel identical to a rotary besides a rotary. However, that boost, it comes on super quick and letting off. Yes, this does have an added blow-off valve, an aftermarket one, but driving this feels very similar, very reminiscent of Colton's CYM FD that I drove this past summer, and I love it. This right here is the holy grail of Miatas, in my opinion. Is it the fastest Miata? No. But they're rare, they're fun to drive, they're easily modifiable, and from the factory, I think this is one of the best Miatas to ever be made. I've driven aftermarket turbo Miatas, I drove the black NA, and I've driven a blue turbo NB that will hopefully get a review at some point in the future. And aftermarket turbo Miatas are way faster. They're a whole different beast. This isn't as fast as those Miatas, but it's very well balanced, and it just feels so good. One of Mazda's old taglines used to be, "It just feels right." The 2004 Mazdaspeed MX-5 just feels right. Everything is balanced here. Everything has a purpose, and that purpose is to make you smile when you see a corner. Woo! Let's take this corner, baby. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Jamie for allowing me to take out his Mazdaspeed Miata. I'm so glad I finally got my butt into the seat of one of these, and I'm glad I could finally show you guys. One of the coolest factory cars, in my opinion. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.